you are, or who you are, what you look like, or what you used to be. Now, he's God, and he's God on the mountaintop. We good, Sister Tina. We can praise him when things are going real good. But the question is, and here it's here in the text, because David said, yea, though. But here in the text he's talking about, and listen to me, you can almost shift that. When David says, yea, though I walk, when you hear that yea, though, what he's really saying is nevertheless. See, the problem that we have in Pastor is that we can praise him on the mountaintop. But can we praise him when we get down in the valley, in our valley experiences? I'm talking about when the temperature was like it was last week, when the temperature, Everett, is 107. And listen to me, and then all of a sudden, your air conditioning goes out. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying? And then you can compound that, Dr. Taylor, and not only your air conditioning goes out, but then your hot water heater goes out. I want y'all to know those are some valley experiences. But I want you to know that David is going to give us a recipe for how we ought to handle ourselves while we are in the valley. And I'm telling you, I promise you, just help me here, and I won't be long. You see, listen to me. David was familiar with valley experiences. David was a shepherd by trade. He becomes the second king of Israel. Listen to me. Don't y'all know that, listen, from being a shepherd to becoming a king, don't y'all know that that's some kind of success, isn't it? But I just want to interject right here that God got something for you also, because David wasn't the only one that had experienced some valley experiences. Some of you are in some valleys right now. And I'm praying that after this message has been delivered, Lord help me Jesus, that you'll understand that your valley places are necessary. And that's what I want to tag this text right now. I want to tag this text. Your valley experiences, they're necessary. And here David is, this young shepherd boy. He's shepherding the sheep right outside of Bethlehem. You do know about Bethlehem, don't you? It's just a few more months and everybody be talking about Emmanuel. It seems like you don't hear about Emmanuel until it comes Christmas time. But the fact of the matter, Emmanuel simply means God is with us. But that's where David was. He was down in the valley near Bethlehem, and that's the place where Jesus was born. See, I just did that there, Brian, just for the Sunday school, students that are in here this morning. Because you do know some of us do go to Sunday school. Because we understand that while we're in the valley, we need to have the right kind of tools. In the valley, you got to have the right kind of tools. But in the valley, I tell you that you have to understand something. Our valleys are real places. Because we feel certain things while we are in the valley. That's nothing mystical, not Darryl Bryant, not about these valley experiences. They're real. And they hurt. Somebody jump out in front of you on 610, you allowed to cuss, you allowed to say anything. And then it just ruins your whole day. Don't tell me that these valley experiences, that they don't affect you. Yes, they do. But I want you to know that God has an antidote for these valley experiences. Because see, in the valley there is some discomfort that's in the valley. You do know that, don't you? You do know that in the valley there's fear in the valley. You know that? And you do know that there is some anxiety. I'm talking about while we are in the valley. But remember, David was on his way somewhere. By way of Darryl Bryant, he was on his way because of the valley experiences. Valley experiences, I'm telling you, they're necessary. It's necessary. We can praise him when we're on the mountain. But how do we respond, my brother Gary, when we're down in the valley? It does some strange things to us. Thank you, Pastor. But David says here, he says, though I walk. And see, I like this right here. I like this right here because see, when you're in the valley, there's no jogging, not in the valley. Not when you're in the valley. You can't run through. You can't run through not these valleys. But David said, he said, yea, though. And what he really was saying, Sister Robbins, he really was saying that nevertheless, he said, nevertheless, I walk. And I want you to see something here. But in that walking, Sister Diane, it's necessary because it's not a run. It's a methodical walk. It's methodical. You don't know what methodical is, don't you? Methodical means that you are observant of everything that's going on around you. David said, yea, though I walk. And we got to walk. See, some of us, that's what we want to do, Nate. We want to run through our bad, negative experiences because we don't understand that God's doing something while we're in the valley. God isn't, he's an awesome God, I tell you. But let me just look back at the text for a moment here because David's life was very symbolic of valley experiences. He had many of them. And they didn't just come when he became an old man, but they came when he was a young man. If you remember in the Bible where it said that David was tending his father Jesse's sheep, you do know that, don't you? Well, it was a lion and a bear came to take some of those sheep. And all of those poor lions and all those poor bears, all they really wanted was a Lunchable. That's all they wanted. You know what Lunchables are. Those of you that have children, you know what I'm talking about. But that's all that the lion, the poor lion and the poor bear, that's all they wanted. But they was messing with the wrong flock. And they was messing with the wrong shepherds. Had they gone to another valley, Brother Porter, they probably would have made it all right. But they was in the wrong place. And so David slays them. They had to go because they was messing with the wrong folk. You do know that while you're in the valley too, you do know there's predators in the valley, don't you? It's not just lions and bears and tigers, you know. I mean, there are some people who are just like that. Y'all not hearing what I'm trying to say this morning. But I'm talking about some valley experiences though. But see, but God will do some things for you, you know, if you understand who you are while you're walking through these valleys. I want you to know, see, David didn't just get it by osmosis. David got it because his father Jesse had taught him some things about who God is. Today is Youth Day, isn't it? Am I in the right place? Bless the Lord then. But see, David had taught his children. He had taught them the order of worshiping and the order of giving back to God what God had given to them. And so when the lion approached, I can only imagine, David wasn't fearful because he already knew that God was with him. And it had to be a wonderful sight because David says, yea, though I walk through the valley. And there are predators and there are some folk who are going to do everything they can. Don't y'all think that that's not going to happen to you.
Talk about it, Reverend.
And these valley experiences, if I can just be repetitive, can I just be real?
Talk about it.
But in these valley experiences, see, these valley experiences, Sister Jones, they don't just happen outside of the church. You got some valley experiences right in here. And if you don't use these principles that I believe that God is going to give us, I'm telling you, you'll be walking around here saved, sanctified, and on your way to heaven, but you all messed up because of what somebody else trying to do. They working their own program. But God was working his program through David, and he was leading David. David said, yea, though. Y'all not hearing what I'm saying. He said, yea, though I walk. He said, nevertheless. And I'm just trying to tell you this morning that he's telling you this morning that nevertheless. And I believe this morning, let me just hold this train up just for a minute. Because I believe that right here, I believe that some of you came this morning. You came for one reason. But God had another reason for it. And I'm telling you that when the pastor gives the invitation today, listen here, don't you let these moments just roll by you. Because see, this is why I stopped and I gave Pastor Emeritus John French his due. It's because, listen, you don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. I was just in the ministry last weekend, and one of the sisters, one of the teachers in the recovery and renewal ministry, she was talking how God had saved and had brought her mother back and revived her mother, and all of a sudden I get a phone call that she's gone. Listen to me, you don't know what God is doing, but I tell you what he is doing. If you let him, he'll work some stuff out in you.